I guess just for you guys, what do you feel like you can build off of defensively from last night? Or is it just opponent to opponent, doesn't matter, it's got to be...
Yeah, just keep building everything. Our scramble yesterday was phenomenal. Like a lot of times, the help created the next help. And Oklahoma's one of those teams. They move the ball great. They challenge your defense, and they really do. And I just thought the late contest, Pat Beverly got 2 blocks. Brooke one time went from the top of the key all the way to the corner to challenge. That's what it requires, that if you want to be a good defensive team. I thought our switching was the most physical. Still on the ball, we're way better. I said 3 or 4 games ago, we're back to getting into the ball. Still, we showed there's still times where, we have the saying, if you're off the body, you're dead. And there was 4 or 5 of those that were off the body. So we're just getting better at it.
It seemed y'all reached another level after halftime, that first 6 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Or just what changed?
Nothing really. I thought we did it in the first half, honestly, too. We just got, we took it to another level. But, sometimes you could play great defense for the first 2.5 quarters and it does nothing. And eventually it speeds the other team up. They start missing shots. It takes time sometimes. And I thought that was the case of it yesterday.
You mentioned the trickle-down economics maybe on offense.
Yeah.
But in terms of the minutes and the rotations, I know you said for the third it was a little different because you wanted to kind of ride that group.
Yeah.
Having the whole, how helpful is that as you look forward as okay, Jay, Pat Bev, PC, Bobby, you kind of know your 4 there and where to fit them.
Yeah, and even AJ, is either AJ or Gal or neither one some nights, It does give you a lot of flexibility for sure. But we also want to ramp guys up now, too. Like, we want to extend minutes, You don't want to go in the playoffs, or a lot of teams do that, and then they're exhausted. You want to go in the playoffs and everyone's average 30 minutes and used to it, and then you're playing 40 tonight and you can't sustain it. So we're talking about ramping guys up now more than ramping them down.
I think Dane mentioned after the game, just kind of playing with so many injuries kind of disjointed him with just Chris, him with just Giannis.
Yeah.
Like that sort of, you could see it last night, but kind of put it all together of how that helped him. Have you seen that in your experience?
Yeah. I mean, it can, because he hasn't had them all year. This is Dame's first year. I've had him now 3 games, total. So, and they all have to get used to like certain things, ego-wise. I've always said this: when you got 3 guys, everyone's numbers drop a little bit, and then from the outside, Dame or Giannis is only averaging 27, not 29, and you're like, yeah, but Chris is averaging 18. And, you're actually scoring more points, and you have to be able to handle that. Some guys can. This is a very adult group, so I'm not worried about that. And then the second part is that of getting used to not having it as much. Chris brought it up some yesterday. And we got action out of that. And we worked on that today. Like, what happens when he brings it up? What's the second side action? What happens when, that's all we're talking about, because we're learning each other still, too.
What was maybe the biggest, obviously results-wise last night compared to that end of January when they all played? Like, how different is it?
Well, I think we know what we're doing now. We wasn't sure then. I think everybody's playing. The more knowledge and comfortable you get, the more free everyone plays. And I felt like last night, you can see no one forced anything. It was just freedom and playing the right way.
I don't know if you could find 2 point guards that are maybe different than Pat Bev and Dame. Like, Pat Bev's trying to get the ball in his hands all the time.
Yeah.
And trying to facilitate and just keep
Yeah.
it around. Dame wants it in his hands.
Yeah.
How have you seen everyone kind of get used to Pat Bev?
That's been good, because they know when Pat has it that he's not going to keep it. Pat's just trying to create pace, and that's what he's doing, and that's what we need him to do. We don't want Pat to think of himself as a scorer. We want him to think of himself as facilitating scoring. Where Dame, we want him to score. We need him to score, and so it's a lot different.
Does it make it easier with the second team when Pat Bev isn't necessarily thinking about scoring, that like Chris can take more of that? And
Yeah, we want our guys, like we define roles right after All-Star break, and we were very honest about it. Like, this is your score, this is who you play through. Now, this score is your job is when they double team or when you don't have a shot, be responsible and make someone else who maybe not a scorer, a score. and I think we're starting to do that for sure.
With AJ, how's he feeling? I don't know if he was here today, but just how's he feeling after?
AJ? Yeah, he's feeling good. He was here, so I don't know what, food poisoning or whatever. So he's back.
Okay.
Yeah.
With kind of going back to, as you said, ramping guys up, do you think, and Jay had mentioned this a little bit with role definition for Jay and Pat Bev, I mean, at their age, and you want them through June playing.
Yeah, but it would be more the key guys you're ramping up.
Right. For those guys, for Jay
Yeah.
and Pat Bev, though, is like sort of defensive matchup type guys.
Yeah, energy guys, when they come in, like I thought they changed the intensity of the game every bit as much as our starting unit. When that unit came in, it was straight intensity. And, if you can get a second group that's completely different in some ways from the first group, it's a great, knuckleball to throw in. And that happens with that group. They come in, Bobby and whoever else is probably going to be Chris a lot of times on the floor. They're coming in with energy, and they're going to contest shots. They're going to play a power game. And so they know what they want to do. It's good for us.
I know a couple of guys have mentioned that they feel like after the All-Star break, there's been more physicality allowed.
Yeah.
Officials.
Amen.
Dame was kind of, complaining about it offensively.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, have you felt like in the last week or so he's kind of used that to his advantage defensively?
Yeah, I think everybody's using it to their advantage, not just our team. They're allowed to play defense again. They're not bailing out offensive players for flailing. You know what they're reffing? They're reffing like me in practice now. And our guys hate it already. If I ref a practice, I'm not giving you a foul if it's a bad shot. I know it's a foul. I would say that it's a foul, but it's a horrible shot. I'm just not going to give you the foul. And they, that's the first couple. They're like the other day, something happened, and Giannis turned around and looked at me and just started running down the floor. Like, I'm not giving you that. You don't deserve it. That's how the old school refs. Now, you can't do that, obviously. If a guy gets fouled, you got to call it. But I like that and they've been wrong some. Like, there are times guys are getting fouled. But overall, you just can't bail guys out.
That plays into the identity a little bit of this team that's been forged. Like, to get back to the defense, you've kind of joked about like the mud wrestling versus track meet.
Yeah.
But like, you're a bigger,
Smart,
team,
and veterans that have high IQ. So that
it kind of plays into a little bit what.
Yeah, we're hoping it continues. We're worried that they get another memo and it goes the other way, and then we're like, no fair.
Send that All-Star game footage over and say, you want this?
Yeah, I think that may have played a role in it. Yeah, yeah.